So joining me now to discuss the conflict's impact on the energy markets overall is CNBC contributor Helima Croft. She's global head of commodity strategy at RBC Capital Markets, alongside with Bob McNally, Rapidan Energy Group's founder. He also served as the top international and domestic energy advisor for President George W. Bush. Thank you both for being here with us. Helima, we'll start with you. From a big picture perspective, this caught a lot of people off guard. There's no doubt about it. Just how impactful could it be for the geopolitical stability in the region? Is this something that can be quelled rather quickly, or could we be talking about this for days or weeks from now?
I mean, I certainly think days and weeks from now is in the offing. I mean, right now, the question is, will we see a ground operation from Israel inside Gaza? And that's going to be a very difficult operation. Some are comparing it to the U.S. operations in places like Fallujah. The bigger question for markets is going to be, what was the role of Iran in this attack? Because if there is evidence that backs up the Wall Street Journal reporting that Iran coordinated this attack, there's going to probably be a significant response from Israel. And the question is, what does the United States do? So a lot is hinging on what type of support Iran gave to Hamas beyond what we know about weapons and money. Were they coordinating this?
Helima, if you don't mind, could I follow up on that? There have been folks out there, analysts, who've talked about this relationship between Israel and the rest of the Middle East, ex-Iran, Iran, not Middle East per se. It's about the relationship with Saudi, all of the other Gulf states, and whether or not this was something that was meant to derail some of the efforts being made to stabilize and improve diplomatic relations between Israel and other Gulf area states vis-a-vis Iran. Is there anything in your mind that could go that route?
Of course. I mean, certainly an objective of Hamas would be to derail the normalization talks that were going on with Saudi Arabia. And I think they have essentially accomplished that. I mean, it's hard to see how normalization talks with Saudi Arabia can proceed on a parallel track to a very ferocious Israeli counteroffensive in Gaza.
Okay. Bob, there's been very much a specific response in energy markets right now. Over the course of the last several decades, oil prices have been volatile, but generally speaking, it's been a short-term event. Is there anything that suggests in your mind this could be longer term than what we've seen in the past?
Yes, certainly. So what's very different than the periodical flare-ups between Gaza and Israel, or even the Second Lebanon War, the broader incursions, is this is sort of the equivalent of the 73 war and the 48 War of Independence. We're at a new level, and the violence is going to be at a new level. And the real issue, as Helima said, is will this expand to Iran? If it doesn't, for oil markets, it's likely to be more of a ripple. Israel, there's not a lot of oil and gas involved right in Israel and Gaza proper. If it spreads to Iran and the Gulf, it's 40% of global crude oil exports, 18% of global refined products exports. Qatar, the world's largest LNG exporter, is inside the Gulf in that region. Then instead of a ripple, it becomes a tidal wave. So the key question, there's no question the level of violence is going to escalate. I believe Israel will invade Gaza, and we will see a prolonged war unlike we've seen in many decades in the Middle East. The question is, does Iran get involved? Does Israel have evidence of Iranian complicity? Does Hezbollah in Lebanon, with 130,000 rockets, join the attack? Those are the types of things we're looking for to see if this becomes more of a tidal wave for markets rather than a ripple.